Yep, that just happened. Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future. All right, guys, we are back in my garage for another video. And if you can't tell, I'm pretty annoyed. This was something that I really did not want to have happen to me. I really didn't want to be in this situation. But as you all know, I enjoy my Blackview dash cams. I've been an ambassador for Blackview for several years now. But what I tell you guys, I know it's mostly marketed as kind of like for insurance and safety and things like that. But I primarily enjoy using them to capture moments. I like finding cool cars, enjoying just natural interactions with other car guys on the roads and stuff like that. And it just really makes it easy to capture those moments so that I can share it with you without feeling like I need to pull out my phone and record and things like that. So I've really enjoyed that aspect of it. I always knew it was always kind of there as a backup, but I never really wanted to focus on that because I didn't expect to find myself in this situation. But of course, as you can see, it finally happened to me. And this is really annoying specifically because I can remember back in 2013 and 2014, when I was working in automotive, we got news that all new cars were going to need to have rear view cameras standard. And it was a really big deal at the time because even like your cheapest economy car was going to need to have this rear view camera that at the time was a pretty high end option, not something that you typically got with your cars. You typically had to actually request it. It typically was a more expensive car. And now all cars were going to have to come with a rear view camera for safety purposes. And thinking nowadays with how many cameras most cars have and just come with from the factory, I can't believe that we don't have dash cam standard. It seems like a lot of cars have the capability, but it's disabled or just not fully taken advantage of, which could really save you in situations like this. So it's really frustrating until we get to that point. It seems like we're still going to have to lean on getting our own dash cams. As you guys know, I'm sponsored by Blackview. If you guys use my discount code, you can get 10% off of any dash cam order, anything on their site. But just in general, I highly recommend getting a dash cam regardless of what you go with, because situations like this happen all the time. And fortunately, in my situation, I had it because naturally the other guy had decided it wasn't worth sticking around to see what would happen. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about what actually went down. Let's just talk about it. So I'm driving normally in the mornings. Everybody's kind of on this highway headed the same way, but this is a break between two different highway exits. One is basically an on-ramp where a lot of traffic is getting on the highway headed south, because here in Cincinnati, pretty much everybody heads south towards downtown going to the city when they're going to work in the morning. And this break is basically between that on-ramp and a big highway interchange where this north-south highway crosses with a highway going east-west. So there's a lot of traffic, people kind of, navigating across lanes to get to where they're going. And I had started passing somebody that was to the right of me, or basically just finished passing them. And I saw that they were getting ready to get over, but they were driving a little bit aggressive, enough for me to notice. They weren't driving really crazy, but I felt like they might accelerate a little bit or do something to try to sneak into that right lane. So after I passed them, I was trying to give myself a little bit more room so that I could get over and let the car behind me continue passing. Now, of course, I know that this is a really risky deal because a lot of people, again, are getting on from this on-ramp. So they're trying to switch over to the left lanes and kind of get out of all the interchange traffic. So you really got to pay attention. But I found a break where the guy behind me got over to where he was going. So I proceeded to start switching over to that middle lane. Now, as soon as I got to the middle lane, you can see the car in front of me turn on its turn signal and start switching lanes. Now, again, there was a car behind me. I knew they were going to start passing me on the left, so I didn't want to jerk back over into the left lane and potentially cause an accident that I would be at fault for. So I tried to move over a little bit, make a little bit of noise. I accelerated a little bit because you can hear my exhaust, and that usually is loud enough to get people's attention. But he just kept coming over, and he hit me. He sideswiped me, and that was that. I pretty much heard it, and I immediately pulled over and started switching over so that we could, trade information. But like I said, he wasn't really worried about that. He continued switching back over to the middle lane and proceeded on where he was basically just deciding he's going to work and he doesn't really need to worry about an accident. So I followed him for a little bit. I actually pulled over to the left of him, opened my window, tried to indicate to him that he needed to pull over, and he just kind of looked at me and then looked forward and pretended that nothing happened. At that point, I was thinking in my mind, like I should have pulled out my phone or something and recorded him, but I just didn't at the time. So I got back behind him, recorded his license plate information, called to the police, and started trying to report the situation, hoping somebody could come out and make something happen. But anybody that's in this situation, they're not going to do anything. They basically tell you, disengage, leave him alone. If you've got his license plate number, just go file a police report and they'll have to figure it out later. So I went ahead and did that. I filed my police report. But thankfully, I had the dash cam video because I was basically able to show them exactly what happened. They made me write down the story and everything like you normally do as a witness, but they said, just send us the video. I sent it to his email, and they basically took it from there. Unfortunately, like in your mind, you're kind of juiced up and you really want to hear this justice. You want to hear them get chewed out and get arrested or something, but none of that seemed to happen. They wrote him a ticket. He'll have to go to court for it later on, but all of that happened after I left. So thankfully, they were able to get his information. They got his name, address, and everything from his license plate number, got his insurance information and sent it to me, and I'll be getting the car fixed on his dime. But yeah, that's the current situation. And I mean, at this point, I've had the car 7 years. Actually, in about a week, it'll be 7 years from today. And this is the first actual accident that I've been in where somebody hit me. So I guess it's a pretty good track record. I don't know. It's just pretty annoying. It's annoying to deal with, especially because I have a lot of events coming up. I've got Streetcar Takeover coming up, car shows I want to go to. This is like prime driving season. I do not want my car to be in a shop getting repainted or cleaned up or whatever. And it's just really annoying that it had to happen right now. So probably going to enjoy it for at least a couple more weeks, schedule some time with a body shop to get the repair later on in the year, so that way I can enjoy driving the car, just wash it and clean it up so at least it minimizes how much the damage looks, and then I'll get it fixed when I have time. But I think the other thing with this dash cam is this is the first time it's really saved me in this kind of situation, but this isn't the first time that it's caught a close call, because I've been in a lot of situations, unfortunately, the past couple weeks that really opened my eyes and made me very thankful that I had this dash cam. There was a couple weeks ago, I was actually driving home from my son's football game, and as you can see in this picture, a car decided that it was time to pull over. Now, you might be wondering, why am I so close to them? Why am I following so closely? Like they're in the left lane and they decided to pull over. They obviously didn't get all the way out of the way, but like maybe I should have moved out of the way or something like that. Or maybe you're thinking like, oh, if you pay attention, you can see they have the little access road between the highway and he's trying to make a U-turn. So he probably stopped all this traffic so that he could make a U-turn in the middle of the highway. And you would be almost right, except he didn't start off in the left lane. Yeah, that's right. They started in the middle lane and cut across a lane of traffic to try to make it to that access road so that they could turn around or do whatever. And unfortunately, this was another scenario where, again, I had somebody just in the next lane from me, so I didn't want to swerve too hard and potentially cause another accident. In the footage now, I can see that they were slowing down, thankfully, but at the time I didn't really notice, and I was focusing on the person in front of me, not trying to look all around. So I really just did the smallest amount of swerve or input that I would need to do with the steering wheel to avoid having a crash with them without swerving all the way over into the next lane and just trying to minimize the impact. And I mean, this was a time I had my wife with me, I had my kids with me. This would have been a really bad scenario. And in my mind, I was thinking, if I was by myself, I would have just let you buy me a new car. You know, I would have let you buy me a new car. I've been thinking I need a new car for a while. And if you're this reckless on the highway, I would just let you buy me a new car. But then who knows what would happen? They might not have insurance. They might have whatever situation. They might not be able to cover your car. It's just not even worth the hassle. So it's stuff like that that's just been crazy. And then even like a couple weeks later, I'm driving up a different highway. I'm in the right lane this time where it's supposed to be safe. And thankfully I was, because this semi truck comes flying down the opposite direction in the left lane. And I have no idea what happened after that. It literally was just a couple seconds and it was gone. The truck was super shady too, because it had like no headlights. It had no bumper. I have no idea what he was going through, but it was obviously a really weird situation. I didn't see like police chasing him a few moments later or anything. It was just a random truck driving the wrong way on the highway. And so, you know, again, stuff like that, it just makes me really happy that at least for my insurance, I have a dash cam, something that can keep me covered. When I'm driving well, I know that I have something that I can illustrate whatever incident could occur, whatever could happen in front of me without my control. I can have evidence that it was not my fault and hopefully make sure that I get the coverage I deserve. So yeah, again, I never wanted to make this video. I never wanted to be the person in this situation, but I did want to make this just to remind you guys that it can happen to anyone, no matter how good of a driver you are. Things just happen. So I highly recommend getting a dash cam. Again, if you guys are interested in a black view one, use my coupon code with the link below and you'll be able to get 10% off your order. But yeah, for now, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.